Hey, this is Morris. We were testing out a new setup and lost the first few minutes of this episode. This one was recorded shortly after Thanksgiving with myself, Angelus, and Mike, along with a friend of the show, Maurice, in the fourth chair. It begins in the middle of a conversation about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I think the issue with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, like, it really points out how politics is not made for the average person to participate with.
No. Mm-mm.
Right.
Like, it's cost prohibitive to run in the first place. And then, like, she won, and she can't even afford to go to DC yet until she starts getting paid in January.
Man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. The weird thing is that you would think that, you know, this, for lack of, like, this average girl was not able to afford that. You would think that most Americans would be able to relate to that, given the fact that the average American can't afford fucking rent and
Where the fuck they are.
where the fuck they are, right? But yet, like, you saw so many people, especially conservatives, like, the little elite girl on the coast couldn't afford it. I feel so bad. And it's like, man, you guys really put your whole party over shit that you can actually relate to. Like, you voted for a man who has literally never been poor or middle class or even anywhere near middle class in his life, thinking that he's relatable. Then you shit on somebody who you can actually literally relate to. Like,
Right.
you got somebody who literally struggles to pay bills, who can't afford rent in, you know, a city that she has to be in to represent her people, and you laugh that off and you think that, you know, she's the elitist one. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they really just don't care outside of their political party at this point. It's just that's why I don't even like bother having conversations with people like that anymore. It's like, what's the point? Because there's no actual empathy there. There's just like, oh, I believe in this thing so wholeheartedly that it, like, I think conservatism and most Republican thought processes and ideas are really apathetic to other people. Like, it's so apathetic. Even the idea of being like fiscally conservative is apathetic, because, like, oh, you only care about you and yours, but you don't care about everybody else. And usually what affects everybody else usually affects you too. You know what I mean? So
So you would think they would pick up on that one day.
they won't, because they're so wrapped up in it. So that's why GM is closing down factories or whatever. And then it's like, oh, well, shit. I wonder why they're doing that. Or farmers are getting hit by, like, this E. coli shit or whatever, because somebody in office or whatever was writing out the protections and stuff like that, or the wildfires in California. You know, it's like a lot of this stuff is just like happening to people or whatever, and yet they'll never wake up out of that little trance they're in, because they're so emboldened by their morality, their false sense of morality, really, and ideas or whatever. They don't care about anybody else but themselves. So they're going to suffer and then blame the other person, but never will blame themselves or the people that they actively put in these positions. So,
Well, I think in our lifetime, we're going to see that theory tested, because the way climate change is
man, they ain't gonna
accelerating.
fuck
They
about
really
that shit.
not
You're gonna
gonna
blame
give a
whoever the
damn.
person is.
And we've already seen it historically
care.
happen repeatedly. Like, all their current woes are from them voting in ways that they think are going to hurt others and leave them unscathed, and it just turns around and hurts them. Like, this has been seen numerous times in a reoccurring pattern, but it's always ignored, and we go through the exact same cycle, decade after decade. They will vote for some stupid shit that hurts them because they think it's going to hurt everybody else, especially if it's insinuated that's going to hurt African Americans, and then it turns around and hurts them later down the line, and then they're like, oh my god, nobody cares about us. Then we get 1,000 think pieces, like, some what about the people and the forgotten places, and it's like, they weren't forgotten. Like, they were catered to exclusively,
Right.
and that's why they're in the fucking position they're in. Like, which is why I feel absolutely no empathy.
Well, I'm not. I didn't say that to mean that they're gonna change their ways when things really get tough. I just mean, right now we are posed with the question of whether or not we're going to preserve our environment, and the conservative-led government is saying
Hell no.
a resounding no. And like that recent climate report that came out, we didn't meet the the bare minimum we set out to do with the
I
Paris
mean,
Accords.
that was a given.
And if we did, it would have been too little anyway, and we fell miserably to meet that goal. So it's very likely in our lifetime that we see like the erosion of our environment to an extent that we haven't witnessed yet, like the
That's scary.
heavy storms on the East Coast or the wildfires in California. We could see a future where there's just wildfire season is longer and more devastating to a point where people can't live there anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's knocking on our door. It's here, and this is like the beginning. And we're still fucking it up. Like we haven't stopped doing the thing that's making it worse. And the current administration, they'll be long and dead before we really pay for this. And it's just at that time, I don't know if there's going to be anyone around to regret what they've done. So it's just going to be people holding the bag for this thing that they really had no say in.
Yeah.
Not even really micro, but just like the little things that we as people don't really get to pay attention to as much because we don't really see it as often. It's not really talked about as often. The how farmers are protected, how the land in California is protected. It's not fucking that people didn't fucking rake up leaves or whatever. It's like, no, these groups and these organizations do need to be funded by the government, to be able to work properly so we can be okay, at least decent enough to where we can continue to work forward and so that. But when that's not being taken care of, you see the effects, and that's what's so fucked up about everything right now. It's clear as day, but then no one wants to pay attention. When I say no one, I mean like the majority. I don't mean like us clearly talking about this shit because we can clearly see it, but the majority of the people that vote these idiots in and stuff like that every fucking election cycle, or want to elect these idiots in every fucking election cycle, every single time they do the same old shit. And it's hard for me to be like, all right, things are going to change, whatever. But it's like, things can change in 2020. We can actually have a Democratic majority. We can do this, that, and the third, whatever. But my fear is always that we'll always come back to this moment right here that we're at now. It happened with Bush after 8, and then after 8 years, we're like, all right, we can kind of like, shit still ain't perfect, but we can kind of chill. And then boom, Trump. And this was in my lifetime. And I imagine people that lived through Reagan and Bill and even Carter and stuff like that had to go through the same shit. And I'm like, I do not want to go through this, but I know I have to as long as I live. And it fucking sucks to just see this shit. This is some shit I used to read about in books when I was younger and never thought about, never really considered how my life can be affected. But now I'm like 26. I'm like, God damn, this shit sucks.
They're doing all this stuff, and you try to tell the people about it, and they really just act like
they
it's
don't
normal.
give a fuck at the end of the day.
You're like, are you not seeing this? Like, it's even affecting them, and they're still like, oh, well, it's okay.
Ignorance is bliss, dog. That's where they're at. And there's nothing I don't think me or you can say or anything that can actually happen. They can lose jobs, their businesses go out of business and stuff like that. Anything happen to these people, and they're raised to literally be apathetic and non-caring about other people and stuff like that, so it's not just like, oh, it changes with generations. No, generations are teaching the later generations, hey, this is how we live. We don't give a crap about the immigrants coming over or the refugees coming into these other countries. I don't care. We don't care. We just trying to protect ours and try to do hard work and da-da-da. These quote unquote American morals and ideas and memes and stuff like that, they honestly, if we're ever to get better, and I doubt we will in that sense, but if we're to get better, they have to die. But they're not dying because they get transferred every generation. That's why you get all these like 20-year-olds being Nazis and shit. Because they don't have the frame of reference to really understand what being a Nazi actually is, like what it actually is. They memify it and they make it a thing or whatever, and they're clearly racist and homophobic and anti-Semitic and stuff like that. But it's like they don't really know. The only reason they're drawn to it because they don't know any better, and it's fucked up because they're raised by these people who think that shit is fucking like that the inherent American ideals aren't really, they lead into that shit. They really do. The anti-immigrant stances, the bootstrap stances, all that lean to the Nazism and to racism. It leans into that shit. Like America is inherently what the Nazis pretty much are in its heart and core. And a lot of people don't see that. And we did, and in generations, the further we get away from World War II, the less they're gonna see that shit. So it's like,
and I think an issue that this country specifically has is we incubate this kind of thought process that there's the only way you could possibly be racist is if you like murder someone and say it's because of their race explicitly. Like that's the only form of racism America accepts.
That is when goes sometimes. Look at Dylan Roof. That nigga dead ass did that. And people were like,
I'm not racist.
oh, it's attack on Christianity. Oh, word? And they shooting up white churches now? Is that what's happening? Cool.
Or like when a politician gets caught saying something racist, they'll say they said something racially charged.
Yeah.
Like they let them get off easy because when you frame it that way, when someone's coming at you with Nazi SS slogans, are they being racist by the standard that America has set up, that you have to like physically hurt someone because of their skin color explicitly? As long as you're not doing that thing, everything else seems to be fair game.
You gotta write a manifest pretty much to say, for people to think, oh yeah, he's actually racist.
And even then they'll say
that doesn't work.
Mental they'll just say you have some mental disorder, you're not mentally healthy.
Look at Dylan Roof.
Yeah, exactly. Like he wrote a manifest completely saying that basically I'm trying to kill black people, they're taking our women, all that shit, and they were like, oh my god, this is an attack on Christianity. This is what happens when you take the church out of schools. You take God out of schools. Like, no, bitch, this is what happens when a white person hates black people. Like,
but he had a black friend, so it's okay.
Yeah, that dude was basically blackface. Yeah, I have absolutely no faith that things will get better in this country. So I'm pretty sure we'll probably have a civil war before things ever get better. Hopefully it won't be in my lifetime. Hopefully I'll be long and dead.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to happen.
I might need to learn some self-defense classes. So.
Don't think that's going to be with a bullet, but word, you can try that.
Oh, no, it's not for me. It's so I can teach my kids in case that shit go down.
Best of luck, Mike.
Yeah, that's all I had.
You got to prepare them for the race war.
You can teach them kung fu for the race war?
Hell yeah. It'd be like a Naruto training arc or some shit like that. But yeah, about Tekashi, man, that shit's like, people have like these long soliloquies about that shit. And I'm just like, yeah, that shit's gonna happen eventually. I'm just like, the people used to hang, he was hanging around and shit was like, oh, yeah, they gonna get you fucked up, dog. And now they talking about actually like killing him and shit. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, when he came up and he was associating himself with, was it the Bloods?
Yeah.
And he clearly,
who doesn't?
I mean, we've all seen Tekashi, and I was like, that's not going to end well for him, one way or another. And here we are now. He's facing a lifetime in prison or being killed by his supposed gang member friends.
Yeah, I really don't feel bad for him at all. So
No.
Good luck, Tekashi.
yeah, basically.
That's about it.
That's all I really have for that subject. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, water. I never understood people had so many like soliloquies about this shit. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't remember who was it? Hot 97 was talking about the shit, and I'm just like, okay, just like, okay, you don't have to go through all that. Damn. It's just like, yeah, we saw this shit happening. He's not going to be made an example out of because you have all these other young rappers doing the same exact shit, pretty much. So it's like, and they're all, and the thing is, it's not just been Tekashi. Rappers been doing that for years.
Right.
Well, RICO cases?
Well, not that. I'm just saying,
I don't think that's been a thing for years with rappers, or you wouldn't have any rappers.
True. But I'm just saying, like, just being involved in like the wrong shit. I mean, that's Tupac's pretty much demise at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Tekashi's on video ordering a hit on somebody.
Yeah, and Tupac fucking assaulted a rival gang member. We saw it on video. I mean, it's like, come on. At the end of the day, it's like, it's that same hip hop coming from this environment or whatever, and having this image and stuff like that. It's the image I'm mostly concerned with. That image of just being the gangster, being the hottest nigga, and shut that. And then you actually try to be in that shit. It's only gonna end in disaster at the end of the day, for the most part. Some people get out of it, some people don't. So it's like, in Tekashi's case, he's playing his hand way beyond where he can actually muster. So it's like, all right, dog.
Well, see, that's the difference.
Good luck to you, my nigga.
The difference is people that were doing it before they blew up, as compared to somebody that's just kind of faking it, you know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but I mean, like I said, I can say the same about Tupac though, because he wasn't full thug life until he started fucking with Suge.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like the people that aren't faking it kind of know how to get out of it a little better than as compared to like Tekashi or something. Now they're like, oh shit, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like, Tekashi, he wanted to really be a gangster, so he finally became one after he became famous. Now he's like, oh fuck,
now he on this Frank Lucas shit.
Life is real. Like,
he on this Frank Lucas shit.
Like, there's a reason why Snoop and all them fucking left when they fucking blew up, my dude. Like, Snoop Dogg killed a whole ass person. He still was, I'm done with this.
Like, get out the hood, man.
Yeah, like nobody goes and becomes a gangster once they make it. Like, they do that because they have no choice. Now, once they've made it and they start making money, they have no reason to continue to be a fucking gangster, so they fucking leave.
I mean, you look at people like David Banner or like T.I. or something like that. Like, they tried to change it so they wouldn't have to do what they were doing anymore.
T.I. fucked up though. That nigga had army guns.
He's got a documentary or something on Netflix, and one of his kids had a water gun, and he was like, "Hey, Dad," and he was like, "Nope, I don't mess with those no more."
Okay, I gotta watch it now. Oh man,
I think it was on the documentary where like every episode is about a different rapper. Like, one was about Logic.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I wanted to see that.
I didn't watch it because the first one was about Logic, so I never checked it.
Oh no, so skip that episode. Okay,
I was like, oh, Logic, huh? Yeah, I'm not going to listen to this shit.
I mean, you don't have to watch that one.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, that because that was the first one I saw. I never went back to it. I was like, well, shame.
No, the rest of them are good. Like the T.I.
check them out, maybe.
The Nas one was pretty good.
Yeah, basically. I don't want to be reminded that he's half white, half black. Again.
Is he though? I feel like if you really biracial, you ain't got to keep bringing that shit.
I feel
like
okay, here we go.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm done.
This is a complex and sensitive topic, Mike. Are you sure you want to go here?
Man, you clear as day, white and black, nigga. We got to keep hearing that shit over and over again. It's like when Blasian people keep saying, "I'm Blasian." Like, no shit, I can tell. Nigga,
like, I can't walk around and tell people I'm 100% black. It don't work.
I mean, fair enough, but I mean, I'm just saying though, like, they do it as like a pride marker. Like, yeah, nigga, I'm white and black, or I'm Blasian. I'm like, all right, nigga, cool. You still black,
right?
You still to a degree black, so it's like it doesn't really. It matters to you if you care about your culture and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, to make it a bragging right, as if like that other half of you somehow validates your blackness for some reason. You know what I mean? To me, or makes your black.
I don't understand. Better. Like, if you were like white American and black, like, what do you have to be like flaunting there? You know, like.
Yeah,
I was both a slave and a master.
Right.
That's going to be a whole bar for Logic.
That sound like a Logic line.
Definitely going to happen.
Like, this is upsetting.
I'm half white, but my mom is German. Her dad was from like Poland, so that's a little different as compared to like your parents just grew up in America. Their ancestors were from Europe, but
I think with Logic he gets a little choppy because. If he were to walk in the door and you didn't know him, he could easily pass for a white person.
Oh yeah, I thought he was white until
he was white too. I was like, he's half black. Damn,
dude. The first time I heard him say the N-word, I didn't know he was black yet, and I was like, oh no, what is happening?
I thought he had a ninja moment or something. He's
probably why he keeps reminding people he's half black. Just to keep it in your mind on a conscious level, so he says it every other line.
Saving himself. He's like, just so y'all know.
He takes it so damn far. I'm just like, bro, every other bar doesn't have to be about your ethnic makeup, man. Can you please stop? I beg you.
He says it so much, I'm starting to think that maybe it's not true.
Right.
trying to
Rachel
get
Dolezal and
suspicious.
everybody.
The bad part about it is if he wouldn't mention that so much, like the rest of it is good.
Yeah, he's like a talented producer. I don't particularly enjoy him.
I just can't get past it. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, sometimes rappers kind of get on this like little thing or whatever, and they won't let go, and it's just like it kills like anything you really want to listen to. It's like, all right, bro.
Right. They find that one thing,
Yeah,
and it works
for them.
So, like that's what I'm riding with.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, dog, you got it. I'm trying to think of a rapper that does that now that I can't stand without ruffling any feathers.
Jay-Z,
I'm
he
not
has
gonna mention
Basquiat's.
Right? He keeps like not making music, and then he comes back again for a little bit.
Remind you one more time,
then-
I got a Basquiat. Like, bro, it's cool, man. I can't afford one, so can you stop talking about him so much?
He's got to tell you that, and he has to remind you that he's married to Beyonce.
I mean, to be honest, I say that
Yeah.
shit.
I wouldn't even listen about that one.
not even go flex. I'm like,
I
hell
would
yeah,
have flexed
I'm
about
married to
Beyonce on every track.
Every track.
Matter of fact, we just made an album called Beyonce, and then track 1 is B, track 2 is E. I'll just go down the list.
All right, nigga. All right, bro.
But Jay-Z
Too
can't really
much.
do that because he cheated on her, so
This end of the year is like going by so
it
fast.
is. Just last month, Black Panther came out.
Nah, bro. Nah. Shit. What else has been going on outside of some random politics shit?
I don't know if
Okay.
we should be talking about this because I don't know if anyone's confirmed this is legit or not.
Yeah, I was
But
going
I
to
guess we
say
can just talk about the whole
because
fiasco in general.
yeah, the
Yeah.
actual initial apparently the person that posted it was a troll, but he actually this is like updated information from what I've understood, but it actually did involve some trans women. At the end of the day, it was a troll, but it ended up exposing some trans women. That's what we got. But the initial story, how we got it was this person had been talking to Dwight Howard, and then you don't notice she's trans until like later on. So at first you're thinking like, oh, Dwight Howard is being like some like future on some future shit or whatever, you know. And then it just evolved into like, oh shit.
You know, he's
It's-
not trans, right?
Hmm?
He's not trans. He's a guy. He identifies as
Oh.
a male.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was a woman. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Nah. Yeah, he made a tweet saying that he identifies
Oh,
as a
okay.
man.
Okay. So I was
Because
getting mad
of-
at somebody like,
because
yo,
of
that's
the way he
women.
looks.
Why are you keep calling him? Okay. If it's true,
There were some big allegations.
yeah.
Yep.
If it's true, I'm not surprised to be honest. But I feel sorry for the people involved that that's actually the case. You know what I mean? Like the outside of Dwight Howard, I feel sorry for the people.
I would say that there was a better way to bring up that subject matter than to expose everybody on Twitter like that.
Mhm.
That's my personal opinion.
You put a lot of people actually in actual danger that
Yeah.
way. And like a friend told me when she doesn't like when other people come out for her and stuff like that. Like she doesn't like that. And that's really disrespectful to anybody that, you know, is trans or bi or whatever. You know, they let them do it on their own terms. And some people don't care. Some people do get to ask whatever, but like when you expose people like that, especially when there's such a large amount of violence against trans people in general, you don't do that.
I didn't even catch it. I just was looking on Twitter and everybody was posting Dwight Howard, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, maybe he had a good game or something.
I doubt that very seriously.
If he had a good game, that would be a reason for it to be trending
Yeah.
because of how bad he actually is.
I thought he killed somebody, honestly. I was like, oh shit, here we
Damn.
go.
I thought you maybe got another baby mama or something. You know, I don't know.
Well, I mean, with the accusations, he probably damn near did kill somebody.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. But we don't know. Has he come out with a statement or anything yet? Or
Nope.
No. And I don't think any sports journalist is going to ask any questions
Yeah,
about
this
this.
is gonna get like just looked over like
stuff under the rug. Sad thing is, it's probably gonna be since it's such a big deal or whatever. People gonna remember this shit for years.
I mean, I doubt it's gonna affect Dwight Howard in any meaningful way. Like, the only thing that's come out of this now is the fact that a transgender woman's life is probably in danger or more in danger than it was before.
Oh yeah, in that way,
I
yeah.
suppose.
In that way, yeah.
But, I mean,
definitely.
Dwight Howard,
he wasn't desired to begin with, so this ain't affecting him.
Yeah, like Dwight, people are still women and men are still going to holler at Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
He's still going to get endorsements. Like nothing will change for Dwight Howard's life.
He was gonna sign with the Beijing Ducks next year, regardless.
Damn.
Like they still got that roster spot saved for him.
Yeah, like
The basic.
this doesn't reach Dwight Howard. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's
yeah.
like this is the power of money. Like nothing will happen to Dwight Howard.
Funniest thing I did see out of that wave of trash though was like they said somebody called him a 6'11" bottom, and I gotta admit I died laughing when I read that. But besides that,
That brings up an interesting point because there was a lot of transphobic and homophobic memes
yeah.
flying all week, and it kind of did show how willing some parts of the internet is to get into their homophobic bag for a joke.
Oh yeah, they were quick for that shit. This mean as shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was really telling the fact that when the story even broke out, more people focused on the jokes and things like that than what was being the accusations and stuff like that. I was just like, humanity was a mistake.
That was like the most fucked up part about it. But you know, people are quick to defend the jokes. Were like, man, you know, Twitter's just jokes, man. You know, it's just entertainment, man. And I'm like y'all done been on Twitter long enough to see people get fired for saying like really fucked up shit.
Right.
Like y'all should know this is more than just jokes and entertainment. Like, nah, fam, this is
entertainment has its boundaries.
exactly.
Too,
and so it's like I'm not understanding why y'all still think this shit is for play all the damn time. Like y'all for most of y'all are grown ass adults, so y'all should definitely know better. But I know y'all don't. But
right,
yeah.
They sound like my 4-year-old daughter right now. She says something, and then later on, she's like, "It was just a joke."
Yeah, like I said, it's probably swept up under the rug quick. Maybe like a few months, maybe more like a month, because you know how stuff passes by these days quick. You'll forget.
Right. I was about to say, I feel like it's damn near dead already.
Yeah, I was a month. Shit. Probably by Sunday, nobody's going to talk about this anymore. Power of the news cycle, man.
Yeah. So, how y'all favorite Christian missionary doing?
Oh, he dead. Oh man, that was a wild story, and to see so many people go to bat for that man. Whew, interesting.
Thing is, I understand where it comes from, but it's like
I don't.
Someone please break this down from the beginning.
Okay, so this man, David Chow, he was on a trip in India with the express purpose of going to one of the islands off of India and introducing himself to the what are their names? The Sentinelese. They are uncontacted tribe of people living off of one of the very small islands that is sovereign to India. It is off limits for anybody to go to. They are uncontacted and they are protected as such. This guy, David Chow, he paid a fisherman to get him close to the island. He would canoe out with the express purpose of trying to convert these people via missionary to Christianity. He went 3 times. The first time he got shot with an arrow.
He went 3?
Yeah, he left. Came back again in this little canoe. They basically scared him off again. The 3rd time, they broke the canoe and killed him. So, and everybody's like, you know, once this was discovered, there's this big hoorah about how this poor innocent man was murdered, and that, you know, the Sentinelese, they are these savages and all these things like that. And it's like, well, you come to find, like, there was conflicting information. There's like, they don't know why he went there. Some people are saying he was going for a political stunt, not political stunt, for a popularity stunt. Others are saying that it was for missionary work, and, you know, kept going back and forth between what it was until they found his little, you know, manifest. And he was saying, hey, I'm doing this because this is my calling, you know, yada, 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 God, and all this other stuff about Jesus. And then earlier today, you come to find out that the missionary group actually did send him there. They knew it was illegal, and they told him to do it anyway.
Oh.
And it's just like,
So they fucked that dude over.
Man, like, walk strong in your faith. God will protect you. And you got clipped by some arrows and died.
Oh my god, damn. So,
Yeah.
so dude, oh my god. See. So no, because I was going to bring up the fact that if you do believe in the the Bible wholeheartedly front and back or whatever, that missionary work is actually a big part of it. But that, in my opinion, in my own belief or whatever, I think it has definitely have its limits, and it's definitely, hey, don't try to go convert people that don't want to be converted.
I mean, that would be anybody before they met the missionary.
Exactly, right?
So the missionary is wholly pointless.
It's a mixed bag. It's one of those things where you have to not. No, because you're not supposed to be. The whole idea is that the fact you're not supposed to like hide your religion in a sense. You're supposed to express it, show that's who you are or whatever. That's the whole point. But when like I said, my limit is where it's like I'm not going to force it down your throat or anything like that. I'm not going to push it in your direction, which is why I think missionary work in today's society is trash, because it's too too forward, and it's very manipulative, and it still follows the same colonization style stuff that your Europeans was doing the entire time. You know what I mean? So it's not about just like showing who you are in Christ or whatever. It's just about, hey, you have this belief system. That shit's trash, man. Let me show you the power of Jesus Christ. It's like that's the worst way of going about
Isn't that like all missionary work?
They might as well just say that.
Yeah, no, that's literally what it is. That's literally what they're doing, and that's like that's what I'm saying, Angelus. Like that's not how it should be. But the idea of missionary work should be, hey, this is how I live. Jesus is cool, dude. If you want to jump on the board, I got you. That's what it should be like, but it's not like that. It's very It still has that colonizer effect about it. That's why I don't like when people like going to these third world countries and shit and like trying to preach the word of God and stuff. I think that's like the worst thing ever, because like these people actually need help, not just you preaching to them, fam.
I mean, the reason why a lot of these third world countries are the way they are is because of missionary work.
Exactly. I just feel like that's such a weird, dumb thing to do. Like, it's fucked up. But yeah, that's why I say I get where they're coming from, but I think it's still like coming from like a place of bad faith, no pun intended.
Taking a canoe to murder.
Yeah,
Island.
it's like, dude, you can't go there. It's banned. Like, not even people from India go there. It's like, nah, B, they leave them niggas alone. So don't go over.
I mean, they've expressly, made through action and words, and like from the 1800s forward, that they don't want contact with outsiders. Like, so people who don't know the backstory about these group of people, in the 1800s, there was this guy who's the white guy whose name I don't remember because he's white and I don't care about him. Anyways, he made contact with the Sentinelese, and in his contact with them, he actually took some of their kids. With him back to it's not Britain. I forgot which country it is. Anyways, he took his kids back, and then, he quote unquote, educated them and civilized them, quote unquote. He brought them back. Those kids, number one, when he brought them back, they brought back different, ailments and illnesses because, they are not inoculated against our modern diseases. So they ended up wiping out a fairly big portion of them. And their kids told them about the things that happened to them. Excuse me. And so they most likely passed that down to their, they wrote that down or they spoke it into their history and their culture, and it became like a story for them. So now from that point forward, anyone who had came to the island, they were automatically apprehensive of, because it's either they're going to take our kids or they're going to give us some kind of disease that wipes a fucking truckload of us out. Therefore, the only logical recourse we have is to kill you. And I completely understand what they are about. And you know what? I'm like, man, if Africa did that, it'd be so lit. But they had better weaponry back then. But again, the point is that, this guy went to this island to convert them. And just by being there, he put all those people at great risk. Because, again, they are not inoculated against our modern diseases. And he was bringing them, he brought them a shitload. So they were like, oh, hell no. Like, you got to die. And yeah, me personally, I've read so many tweets on it, and people are like, oh, this is terrible. They shouldn't do that to him. That's messed up. My perspective is this, honestly. This is probably going to offend people listening, but, it's cool. First and foremost, I think missionary work is stupid as shit every single time, because you're basically saying, hey, your culture and your way of life, it's not as cool as ours. Here's this way better one. jettison everything that you know and take this one in. That's bullshit. Like, you don't know other people's spirituality. You can't go around telling somebody their spirituality is less than yours. It's bullshit. So missionary work, 10 times out of 10, fuck it. Fuck missionaries, all of them. Some of my good friends are missionaries, and I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. I told them this a lot, and sometimes we don't talk for a while, but hey, sticking to my guns on this. And it's like, you, like, not only that is he was going there, he was going to bring them diseases and then say, hey, I can cure your diseases. I can get you the medicine for this if you listen to the word. That is like the most fucked up thing ever. Like, that is one of the main things that has been done throughout history, throughout different countries, Central America, Africa, parts of Southeast Asia. Like that whole
Right.
we can lead you to happiness and we can like fix all your ailments that we ourselves have brought upon you if you jettison everything that you know and love and take on us and take on our beliefs and our ideals and our ideology. That is super fucked up, and there's no way that somebody can take that and twist that into a good benevolent thing. Like, you're a terrible person doing that. It doesn't matter what reason you're doing it for. That is terrible. Like, you systematically destroy entire cultures and ways of life and impose this new one on there that is not even really a net benefit to the people there. You know what I mean? Like, I read an article and it was like these group of people, it was in Southeast Africa, like near the Cape. And it was like they made a statement of, hey, we can show you about this and that. We can show you the love of God. They're like, well, you're telling us that if we don't, love God, then we can go to hell. And he's like, yes. And he's like, so why did you tell us? We didn't know who he was before you told us. Therefore, we were spared until you told us. Now that we know, we really can't reject him. And it's like, yeah, you just basically damned them by introducing him to them. Super fucked up. Like, you're a fucked up person. Like, you are a terrible person.
And the story of bringing disease to isolated peoples is a story old as time.
Mm-hmm.
And with all that information, it's hard to fault those people. Like, every incident, like Angela said, of people coming to colonize different countries always begins with them introducing, however unintentionally, a ton of different diseases that they cannot cope with and have never been introduced to before. Yeah, they did the Aztecs and the Incas, were like half of the population was wiped out by just smallpox and the common cold, which didn't exist in North America until Europeans came here. Like, these people don't know smallpox. That's just something that's out of their... Well, they probably know now.
Unfortunately.
And that's exactly why they're as defensive as they are. And I cannot fault their defensiveness. Like, as the same way I would not walk into my neighbor's house uninvited, I don't see how you could have a problem with these people way out of your purview wanting to mind their own business.
Exactly. Like,
I was gonna say, if he didn't get it like the first time after he caught that arrow,
well, if his faith is strong enough, he would have survived. Guess it wasn't.
Nah, fam. Your faith.
That's not even
very
that's
sarcastic. Faith, no, that's foolhardiness. No, I'm just saying. No, because people think that's my problem with the idea of it's like people think stuff like that is faith. It's like, no, it's not. That's just foolhardiness. Ugh, like think about it. If you believe in a guy like that, God would not want you to go do some stupid shit like that, get yourself killed. Like, no, it doesn't work like that at all. That's stupidness, and it's like, and the fact that the people that he was with told him to go do that makes it like 10 times worse, because they're more than likely to put the idea in the dude's head. Perform their own form of deception.
Yeah, it sounds like he may have been taken advantage of, because who in the right mind returns to a situation like that 3 times?
Well, it wasn't like they were telling him to return. Like, they were like, you convert them if you can. Then he set off.
But the whole, what I'm saying is like,
times. He never got contact with them. They were like, do it again, man. They didn't get it the first time. It was like he planned it with them. Apparently, he had been planning for months on how to convert them.
Okay.
But apparently, during all of that, he didn't speak the correct language. I think he was speaking Swahili, and it's like they don't.
How the fuck did you think they would speak?
No, he was speaking Xhosa. Sorry, it was
even
Xhosa.
then.
It was like they don't speak Xhosa.
It's like, it's a whole language, dude. Like, what?
And he brought them a football too. It's like they don't know what a fucking football is. Like, they're not going to get that. Like, you're stupid.
They're going to take all your interactions with them as disrespect.
That or active aggression.
Him being there was an act of aggression. And
Like I said, I don't feel an ounce of remorse for this man. Like, rip, my dude. Now you're closer
to all the people, all the aspiring missionaries. There's plenty of Christians in this country who could use your help.
Right?
These food banks, you could make yourself very useful.
Go become a missionary in America, nigga. Fuck. Like,
kids are going to sleep hungry in this country tonight.
Right.
Go convert some rural Americans to some actual religion instead of that evangelist shit, man. Like,
that's a really good point.
Damn, you ain't got to go outside the country and fuck with people who don't want to fuck with you.
You actually do proper missionary work to actual people that actually need it. Like, that actually makes sense. I never thought about that.
Yeah, do some manipulative missionary work to them. Like, hey, man, we'll pay your rent for like a couple months if you convert. Hey, gang, look at that. Conversion rates up by 1,000.
I know the money you would have spent on a plane ticket.
Right?
Now you don't have to put your life on the line. We figured it out for you.
Give me my cut.
I mean, they got shotguns.
I don't have arrows either. So.
But they got shotguns, though.
I'm saying I don't.
I mean, it's a balancing act. At least when you get killed by a guy by being on his property in the middle of bumfuck Idaho, you know, they can retrieve your body. And you can speak the language. So maybe you can tell them, hey, man, just trying to spread the good word.
You bring a football down here, people will like you.
Yeah, like, oh, hell yeah, buddy. Who's your favorite team? The Buckeyes. Oh, fuck, come on in for a beer.
I'm sorry if any black country viewers listening. That sound like a bunch of country folk I know.
I live in Southeast Georgia, I know.
I meant convert white people, though. I wasn't talking about white people.
It's some black folks sound just like that, dog.
Yeah, I imagine, but I'm saying I just want them to go do missionary work to white people. Like, don't need to do more missionary work to black people. Done enough. You've done enough damage there. Just,
way too much.
We don't need
it.
Yeah, just go convert white folks. So yeah, let this be a lesson to everybody. Don't go to islands, try to convert uncontacted people thinking you're going to be like fucking Christopher Columbus.
That would honestly be my worst fear, to be honest.
That you will one day wake up and want to go convert people?
No, like going to an island with people that don't want me there.
Well,
yeah, like that don't even sound like the right idea. Like
it doesn't, but I'm just saying, like, say if I'm in a plane or whatever, it crashes and some shit, and I'm on an island, I see like
you have no choice.
Yeah, that's no choice though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even want to be in that situation.
Like, you know what? I want to go convert people. Like, well,
why would I do that?
If you die, then let me get your PS4, I guess.
Don't you already got one?
I always have more than one, man.
It's not like you're gonna need it, Mike.
Yeah, you're dead.
Don't worry about how it's gonna get used.
How do you know my ghost don't want to play a little Soul Calibur or something like that? You don't know.
You want to get buried with it?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta hope they have electricity wherever you're going.
They will.
It's kind of like using it for electronics is like a man-made idea. So I'm not sure if they'll have that there wherever you're going. Unless you're saying that where you're going is man-made too.
Huh.
That's
something to think about.
But yeah, kids, don't go to foreign islands and do stupid shit. You play stupid games, get arrows in your chest.
I feel like we covered everything. I think that's...
Does anyone have anything to plug before we end?
Do you want to ask Maurice some questions or something like that? Or am I...
I don't know. You was here the whole time.
Okay, never mind.
We didn't ask Brittany any questions. It's really weird.
Yeah, I guess we did. I wasn't here for that, remember? I don't know what y'all did. All I heard was the first part where y'all was making fun of me, but that was about it. Man. Y'all ain't loyal, man.
Well, I mean, me and my wife had a podcast. We kind of got busy.
We know how that goes.
And stopped doing it. I mean, three kids and stuff like that, so it gets a little busy sometimes. But we are gonna keep doing it. We're gonna rename it and everything. So my wife has a YouTube channel. She would probably appreciate if I shouted that out. She listens all the time too. So it's called the Mombie Zone. She does stuff about parenting. She does some makeup. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's pretty interesting.
I will definitely tweet out that and put that in the description for this episode. Mike, you still streaming? What's up with you?
And you know what? I started playing Resident Evil Director's Cut, and I was like, yo, I really feel like just playing this by myself. I don't feel like streaming it. I don't know. I just haven't been in the mood to really stream lately. Because I've actually been double timing on my script. So I can get that done before the end of the year. It's like one of my goals for the year. So I'm trying to really just.
We're gonna hold you to it.
Oh, please do. Actually, I had a moment writing the script today, man. I was like, wow.
All right, so we're gonna have a podcast on like the 29th of December. We're like, hey, Mike, how's the script going? If you don't have it done,
How's the script?
oof.
Let me see.
That first 2019 podcast, we've been roasting for like a good 30 minutes.
Should be like what?
January 2nd.
What?
It's the first Wednesday of the new year.
Oh.
And that's where we're gonna start grilling you on your script and where it's at.
Oh, you trying to pull a Stewie on me or whatever? Yeah, okay.
I mean, you're the one who said it, so we're just trying to hold you accountable.
I mean, I'm thinking about 50 pages to be done by December, by next January.
Okay.
Because I'm on a roll now. I got a good vision of how I want the end and everything, and
they all died. The end.
Yeah, it's not that kind of script.
Arrows.
Oh.
It's more of a personal story.
Insert Boyz II Men songs. They all hold hands and tears come out their eyes as Big Mama's dies.
Candles.
Yeah, no.
That's the second soul food reference you've had today.
Are you okay? Or did you want to watch Soul Food, dog?
Nah, I'm good.
Thanksgiving really messed you up, didn't it, today?
Nah, I'm saying like those are the only two stories I see all the time. Like it's either everybody's dead or it's a typical BET story. I was just assuming that was Mike's angle, man.
Right. Definitely not BET. It actually fits Lifetime more than BET. To be honest.
So it's a middle-aged white woman in corporate America who fucking finds a rural white guy to marry.
Cool. Nah, never mind. Not Lifetime there. I don't know. Why did I think it was Lifetime then?
I don't know, because there's not a single black person on Lifetime, bro. Like,
I mean, more so like structure-wise, but.
Oh, so corporate black woman finds nice rural black
No,
man.
the black dude's the lead.
And then he kills her.
Yeah.
You know, because you know the equally successful black man mistreats her, and it's up to that nice,
right,
white collar white black man to help her out and show her how much he loves her, and brings her to the word. BET.
There you go.
SoWellSpoken.com.
Gang gang.
I'll see you guys next time.
Word.